sleek, powerful, and oh so intelligent. You know, when you picture a Doberman pinscher, a really specific image probably jumps into your mind, right? That of a fearless, maybe even intimidating guardian. But how much of that is just Hollywood hype, and what's the real story of living with this incredible breed? So let's dive in and separate the facts from the fiction. Today, we're going to peel back all the layers on the Doberman. Are they the hardcore guard dog of legend, or are they a loyal, super affectionate family companion? The answer? Well, it's a pretty fascinating mix of both, and that's what makes them so special. Okay, so to really get to the truth, we first have to tackle that huge, powerful myth that surrounds them. For decades, the Doberman has been kind of typecast in a very, very specific role. And pop culture has had a huge hand in this. I mean, from the 1972 movie The Doberman Gang, yes, about bank-robbing Dobies, all the way to the character Alpha in Pixar's Up, the Doberman is almost always shown as the tough, no-nonsense protector. But their story, well, it didn't start on some Hollywood backlot. Nope, not at all. The Doberman's origin story is actually way more practical. It all starts back in 19th century Germany, with a guy whose job was, well, pretty dangerous. Let's meet the man himself, Carl Friedrich Louis Doberman. So back in the 1880s, his job as a tax collector meant he was often carrying big sums of money through some pretty sketchy areas. He needed a dog that was imposing, totally loyal, and brave enough to be his partner on his rounds. It just brilliantly shows how a real-world need created a world-famous dog breed. And you know, the funny thing is, Doberman didn't really care about looks. He was all about temperament. His first dogs were probably a lot shaggier and rougher looking than what we see today. It was only after he passed away that other breeders stepped in. They mixed in breeds like the Manchester Terrier and even the Greyhound to refine the dog into the elegant, muscular animal we all recognize now. Now, what's really fascinating here is that Doberman didn't really keep detailed records of his breeding. But because he was also the town dog catcher, he had access to all kinds of dogs. It was like he had the perfect gene pool to choose from. This let him handpick for the exact traits he wanted: bravery, smarts, and that unwavering loyalty, building on this long, long history of dogs being our protectors. So this dog, born from a need for personal protection, would soon have its instincts put to the ultimate test, on the biggest stage imaginable, a world at war. This is where their reputation for bravery was really cemented. That's right. The Doberman Pinscher Club of America actually helped organize the recruiting drive. These dogs earned the legendary nickname Devil Dogs, and believe me, they forged that reputation for courage in the absolute heat of battle, especially out in the Pacific. And this wasn't just talk. This reputation was earned through some absolutely incredible acts of heroism. Just listen to the story of Cappy, a war dog servant in Guam. One night, while the soldiers were sleeping, he alerted them to approaching enemy forces, saving 250 lives. He was tragically killed in the attack, but his incredible bravery was never, ever forgotten. I mean, this quote from an actual military report from World War II, it just says it all, doesn't it? The soldiers on the front lines put so much trust in these dogs. Their senses were just on another level. They could detect threats way before any human could, which made them completely invaluable in dangerous territory. Okay, but a battlefield in the 1940s is a world away from a living room today, right? So what happened to that fierce war hero? Well, the breed's temperament evolved, and that led to a very different and much more affectionate nickname. So, you have this stereotype: aggressive, standoffish, a little scary. But if you talk to any Doberman owner, they will tell you the reality is so different. They are fiercely protective for sure, but they're also incredibly affectionate, totally goofy, and unbelievably loyal. That tough guy exterior is really just wrapped around a big, playful heart. Seriously, Adobe's #1 mission in life is to just be with their person. That's why they earn the nickname Velcro dogs, because they are always physically stuck to you, leaning against your leg, resting their head on your knee, or even trying to convince you they're a 90-pound lapdog. And that same brainpower that made them amazing war dogs, well, it also makes them incredibly versatile service animals today. It's amazing. They excel in so many different demanding roles, from being guide dogs for the blind, hearing dogs for the deaf, all the way to seizure alert dogs and psychiatric service animals. Their ability to learn and bond with a person is just astounding.
All right, so after hearing all that, you might be thinking, wow, a Doberman sounds perfect for me. But we gotta be realistic here. Their unique traits make them a challenging, but also a deeply rewarding companion.
Let's think of it like a contract, okay? It's a two-way street. On your side of the deal, you have to provide at least an hour of real, vigorous exercise every single day. You've got to offer consistent training to keep their brilliant minds busy, and you need to be their constant companion. In return, you get that unwavering loyalty, a super intelligent partner, a real sense of security, and an incredibly elegant and affectionate friend.
And trust me, this is not a dog that's happy just lounging on the couch all day. A bored Doberman can very quickly become a destructive Doberman. They absolutely need an owner who is an active partner in their life, someone who can give them all the physical and mental workouts they crave. So you see the journey from a tax collector's bodyguard to a war hero, and now to this Velcro family member? The Doberman is a breed of just incredible contrasts, so much more than that old Hollywood stereotype. So the real question isn't just what a Doberman is, it's whether you have what it takes to be their person.